farmers. Welcome back to East Vineland, where I am pleasantly surprised with the amount of bales we're getting off this meadow of grass that we have. Soon to be a grass field, not a grass meadow, but yeah, we're going to make it into a grass field today. And just by seeing the amount of bales I'm getting off a meadow, how many bales I'm going to get off when I have an actual grass field here? Pretty interesting. Another interesting thing is I did not realize I actually owned more land than I thought I did. I thought we owned up to where the asphalt starts right there, but we actually owe up to where, well, you can see the grass I cut up into that region. So a little bit more land than I thought that I had, which is great. That's more land for us. Just got to pick up a little bit pieces of grass here and there. It would be good to go. We're going to see how many bales I created. We created 5 bales off our other field, so doesn't look like I'm going to get another one. So 28, so 23 bales off this field, 7,000 liters a piece, I believe they are, plus whatever I got in the baler currently. And I don't think I can spit that one out, but that's okay. It's all good. I'm happy with that. No, we're done with the mower, and let's go ahead and turn that off. We'll lift that up, fold that in. I said lift that up. Thank you. We're all good to go there. Let's go ahead and lift this up and fold it in as well. And we're going to go 23 bales off this field. So yeah, a total of 28 because we can see the counter. 7,000 liters apiece. I don't know. Do the math. I'm not going to try to figure it out. But that's what we got off the grass field. So in about 3 months' time, we should have a good amount of cash coming on in. Let's go ahead and drop this stuff off, because the next thing we're going to do, of course, is pick up the bales. We got to remove the material off the field. Let's see here. We're just going to plunk this down. Right there is fine. Why not put the mower right in the bush? That's the perfect place for it. And we'll drop this off right here. That baler does need to be repaired because we bought it used. So I don't know how bad of a shape it's in. Alright, so now I want to go ahead and check out this autoloader. Do I have to set it for this operation mode? So it's just going to automatically detect the bales. I don't have to select what size it needs on this one. I think it's going to be kind of like the same I have on No Man's Land. Not the same trailer I have there, but I think it's the same concept. And we'll leave these bales right on the trailer. I will fertilize this field here and eventually our other field once the grass grows. It's now in the harvest stage, so no sense of fertilizing the field at all. I should be able to get all the bales on the trailer because I think this said it holds 34 bales on it. But I guess that would all depend on the size of the bales as well. But since we got about the smallest size bale, I'm guessing it should take all 34. I hope I can get those bales off the field that's, well, the asphalt down here, because we don't actually own that. I did try picking up the grass that's down here when I was going up the hill and to spit it out. That's not our property, but someday it will be, I'm sure. Alright, that's good. I can pick up these bales. Perfect. Autoloaders for the win. So a couple of questions in the last couple of episodes we're going to go over briefly, but I think they were answered by other people commenting. Someone did ask, why not use the borrowed equipment for the contracts I'm doing on our own property? And you cannot do that. I haven't tried it, but it's always been, it'll even tell you when you're using it on property that you're not supposed to. It says this is for contract work only. So yes, it's kind of weird that you can borrow something for one contract and use it on another contract that you didn't borrow for, but you definitely, well, I don't want to say definitely, I want to say definitely can't use it on your own property. The second question, last episode, which was on Tuesday, someone asked, how did I have a worker baling behind me? And that is with a follow me mod. That mod's been Farming Simulator since, I want to say 2015, like late 2015 anyways. That should be right in the Giants mod hub. And basically what that does is it's perfectly good for mostly baling, or if you want to line, well, it used to be really good for transporting like a line of tractors from one job to another, but now with the go-to job that we can have workers do. But basically, follow me. Basically, it is what it sounds like. If you're working in a tractor and you want someone following you, that's what it does. That's why it's called follow me. So if you're harvesting a field with straw, and you got a straw swath, a worker with a baler behind you on follow me, or like I was doing with the grass, it can follow you, and it'll just follow you in wherever you go. Alright, let's see. Definitely got to get the plow next. And I did not back up square enough. I don't believe there's any contracts today since I didn't check since I loaded into the game. I just got right to work in our grass field. But let me go ahead and just double check. See if there's anything interesting popped up. No, it's all supply and transport. So, nope. We are good. Alright, so it's probably going to look just a little bit weird when I'm plowing in asphalt and concrete, but bear with me. It'll be fine. Let's try to make this as best as we can by not getting... I just want to plow the field that's here. Let's see. I should have turned on allow to create fields. There we go. It's not crucial I get right to the corner, but we're going to try to make it as best we can. Okay, I'm just going to go down here. Just the same way as I mowed it. Yeah, so it's going to look a little weird when we're plowing in concrete and asphalt, but it'll all look perfectly fine in a little while. Then, of course, we'll have to come over here and grab some soil samples and then plant some grass, and then we are all set. I don't want to plow too close to my property boundary, but that's about as far as I think I can go anyways. Okay, it's going to eliminate the grass, but I can't pick up the grass. A little bit of wheel slippage going uphill. There it goes. So if you remember, I showed you a few episodes ago that this tractor was slipping when plowing. That was with 145 horse, but now we got 205, so I wonder if it'll do better. But usually traction isn't because of lack of horsepower, it's because it's a lack of traction. So I don't know if it'll do better or worse or what have you, but I'm glad I did upgrade the engine, because mowing the field and using the baler at the same time, it was struggling a little bit going uphill, as you would imagine. Got to be careful. I almost backed up into the roadway going on down. Not too worried about the stones, because last time we plowed in that grass field across the street, we got stones, but the grass seeder that we got seemed to push the stones right back into the soil. So we can get the helper HUD off the screen. Don't need that there. So another $100,000, actually about another $110,000, we'll be able to put in our fuel refinery, and that'll come in handy right off the bat, because it has a wind turbine on it that makes energy, which we'll be selling. And in the fall, when we start harvesting, let's see, I think it's canola, corn, and soybean. I think it's those three crops there, but don't hold me to it. But I think those three crops there we can bring to the fuel refinery, make diesel fuel, and sell it. And we'll make a good amount of money from that. Plus, we'll have our own diesel, so I don't have to go buy any. But being able to sell some diesel fuel, we'll be selling that down at the store. I got to put a sell point in down there. Same thing I did a no man's land, basically. But it's not the same fuel refinery that I'm using on no man's land. Probably going to take me a little while to put seed in this field. It's not that big of a drill. But I do want to put the fuel refinery in right down here by this electric bowl. It'll fit in perfectly. But of course we'll have to do some terrain work. Just close enough to the trees so the workers don't have problems, although we'll use workers here. Not in the beginning stages, but maybe later on I might. Alright, so this is the part that's probably going to look a little bit weird once we get up to where the concrete is. Go across that little bit of asphalt there. And okay, so I own more of that than I thought I did. Of course, if I got the map up, I might be able to see... Well, I can't really see where on that mini map. If I come up to here and go to farmlands... I wish your player's arrow would stay there, but I think we're right on the property boundary, so I think it's going to be good enough. Let's not make it more complicated than what it is. I thought about painting the asphalt and concrete over the grass, then plow it in. I was like, alright, we're not going for that much realism here. It's good enough. There, so now you can see how big of a grass field we're going to have. So, planting in April. It should be ready in July at full height. If it takes 3 months to grow. Although this field might not be ready fully actually until August, because it's got to germinate, then grow, grow, and grow. So it may take 4 months on this field here. But either way, we'll get at least 1 full cut and maybe 2 full cuts. September. It might be ready again in November. So I might get 2 full cuts off this field this year. Now, at least for the beginning stages of this series, this will be a grass field, but in the future, it could be transformed to whatever. But you already know that the fuel refinery is going to be going on this plot of land here. So that will take up some of the space later on. It's kind of weird that the wheels slip on the plot of land that's already plowed. And there we have it. Make sure I turn off create fields. There we go. Alright. Field is set. Now we got to go ahead and get some soil sampling. And I think we'll use the 710 for that. And I'll probably even use the 710 for planting. Alright, soil sampler time. That is a lot of bales. I was not expecting that many bales to come off that field. I think I made an estimated guess in a previous episode, and I probably said something like 7. Be my guess. So I was way under. Let's go ahead and get the mini map up in the bottom left-hand corner so you can see the size of the area that we are covering. Wait, was it already unfolded? I guess I left it unfolded before. Alright, so that's a big enough area. Okay, we'll just go here. I'd rather go over than under on the soil samples. They don't seem to be that expensive to send out. So it shouldn't take us too long to do this. I think the longest process is going to be putting in the grass. Probably going to cost us maybe $2,000 for the soil samples here. I think that's covering up to the edge of the field. I think they almost doubled the size of the soil sampler compared to what it was in 19. But the one thing in 19, the reason why I didn't use this that often is the crop center that goes on the front and reads it as you drive along used to be also the soil sampler as well in 19, and that was much more easier to use because you just had to drive along the field. So anytime I was fertilizing, sometimes I would use that crop sensor just to get the refresh of the soil sampler on the fields. So maybe this sample and one more, and we're good to go. I would say I hope we get good soil, but I'm not really sure what the good soil actually is. I know it's not clay. Alright, now let me make sure I can send these off. Here, let me go ahead and fold that up and then lift it on up and send soil samples for analysis. Yep, let's go ahead and do that. And the thing is, we don't know how much it's going to cost until we get the samples in. So, but we should know rather quickly. Alright, so not bad. $1,200 for the soil samples. I can live with that. Now it's time to go ahead and plant in the grass seed. It's getting to be, I kind of need a shed, but we are not quite ready for a shed anytime soon. Right now we're using our home property. as a shed. That won't be our home forever. That's temporary. Are you going to be able to handle this? Alright, so the reason why I'm asking that, it's like, well, you handled the fertilizer spreader, but apparently the fertilizer spreader doesn't have weight to it on that mod. But it appears to be handling this alright. Actually, this is a wider seeder than I thought it was. Or this looks wider because it's on the 710, not the Arion. I would say let me turn on my beacons, but yeah, we don't have any. We don't need the mini-map because we know where we are. And I'm thinking this should be able to pull this. Once I get going, will it go? Or am I going to have to... Alright, I can, but if I stop, it's going to be a problem. What if I turn? Alright, so this could be a problem when I start going uphill. So, yeah. It's a shame. I bought the 710 as our first tractor. I thought I was going to be using it a lot in the beginning. And not so much. Even when it came to fertilizing this spring. It's a nice tractor and all. But when you got to zip across from one corner of East Vineland to the other, 16 miles an hour, it takes a while. And when you got an Arion that can do 32 miles an hour, this makes the job a little bit better. We'll find a job here on the farm for the 710. I wonder if they can shuttle all the bales like to the BGA later on. Could do jobs like that maybe. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab this. And this should have no problem whatsoever because it worked before at 145 course, now we got 205. So, variable seed rate is not available for grass. Okay. I can deal with that. And now that the seeder is on the back of the Arion, it doesn't look as big as it did it was on the 710. But overall, it's not that bad of a working width. Hey, I think I spent like $4 grand on this seeder, so I'm not going to complain. We're able to plant grass fields in. And for some reason, this seeder is actually pushing the stones back in. Or it was on the other field. Let's see if it does it on this one. See, the ones right in the corner should go in, I would think. Yep, the ones right in the corner of the field disappeared. Yeah, I think the 710 would have struggled a little bit going uphill here. And I need to put some more diesel into the Arion. So next time I'm down at the store, I'll have to top it off, or I may actually have to make a special trip down just to top it off with fuel. I actually got along a little bit further than I thought in that field before I ran out of seed. Let's go ahead and top this off again. So I could probably top it off one more time. And I may have to. It'll be close maybe, but we'll find out here in a little while. Still doing the first section of the field as I almost pull out into oncoming traffic. It doesn't, I've said this many times here already in this map, it doesn't seem like there's that much traffic, but it seems like every time I get ready to go out into the road, there's an oncoming car. But you can see how far I've gotten so far going up and down. For the most part, 95% of the stones I come across are being pushed back into the ground. There's occasionally ones where they don't. It's because I think maybe I'm on the edge of the stones. They're like right in the middle of the rows. So maybe it's not getting them, but I can go back over them later on and push them on in. Now originally, before we even got any fields going and all that, I thought, okay, well, when I make my first field and plow the field, I know I'm going to get stones. I said, we're going to have to live, I was thinking, we're going to have to live with the stones until I get a stone picker. I did not realize that some of the drills are going to push the stones back in. But they are, so not going to worry about stones in our grass fields at least. Now this here will also plant canola. And the next field we buy might be the one I was looking at originally, which is right next to our house. I think that's 109,000. And I can plant canola in that field, or any other field that we come across when we have the money. But the next purchase is going to be the fuel refinery that goes on down here, because we can immediately turn on the wind turbine and start selling some electricity. And that's why I want to put it down here, because since we're going to be selling electricity from our fuel refinery, I kind of want to tie it into that telephone pole right there to make it look like we're putting power back into the system. That's another, like I said, about another $120,000 off if I don't spend any money anywhere. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have more fertilizing contracts coming up, so I'll have to buy some fertilizer, but gotta do those contracts to bring in the cash. And then I think our second full season. This is our first full season. Of course, we start in the month of August. So we had half a season to begin with. And now we're in our first full season. But I think our second season, we could be looking at then starting to putting down some buildings, like some sheds and stuff like that. But I also am trying to stay true to my word that once we get a good footprint here on this map, I'm not going to do a lot of contracts. I may not do any fertilizing contracts, although they're hard not to do. They're so quick and easy, bringing in a lot of cash. But we're going to try to limit the amount of contracts that we do, and then try to earn all the money here on our own farm and build it on up, putting down silos, sheds. I'm probably going to do sheep and cattle, but I'm not going to go the whole production of making clothing, all that. We're just going to, the sheep make wool. We'll bring it to the sell point and sell the wool. We're not going to have the spinnery or anything like that. Same thing with the cows. We're not going to have the dairy godmother or anything like that. We're just going to go sell the milk. Or I may actually just do beef cattle, because I always do Holsteins cows, because that's the kind of type of cows that we have around where I live. Most everyone around here has cow farms, so they all go Holsteins mostly. So yeah, maybe we'll try beef cattle or something like that. Will I get into meat production? I know I've been asked to do meat production. Like I said, I'm trying to stay away from doing a lot of productions on this map. Of course, we're going to do some, but just I don't want to be doing a whole lot here. And it's the same thing like with the greenhouses. I don't want to use the open gardens too much. If I use the open gardens, I'm not going to be doing like cotton and that kind of stuff. It'll be maybe just the lettuce and tomatoes and possibly strawberries, but I may not do those greenhouses at all. But plans will change, as we know. I like to change my plans as we go along. It all depends on how we progress here in East Vineland. Alright, so section 1 is just about done here. Then we'll move on over to that section over there, which is probably half the size of this one. Sure, why not? But this field is going to look so much better next month when the grass germinates and grows in. I tried to get rid of this grass by going over my cedar, but since I don't own the land, it's not going to let me do it. And kind of unfortunate that in 22 the grass does not decompose like it did in 19 with seasons. But I guess you can't have everything. I mean, I would prefer that it decomposes. Although it is a losing battle sometimes that when you do your own grass field and it rains, your grass disappears at a pretty quick rate in 19 with seasons on. Your grass will decompose, your hay will decompose, but not as fast as grass, and your straw will also decompose, but not as fast as hay or grass. Anywho, I'm rambling on about random stuff. I'm going to get more of this grass field done here. I'll see you in just a second. Back for more seed, but we are just about done. Doesn't quite take the pallet, so I'm guessing I got about another 200 liters of grass seed in there. I'm trying to remember how many times I filled up, and I don't remember, and that should be 1,000 liters on that pallet. I don't know. We got left what we got left. I'm not used to buying pallets of seed. I'm used to buying in bulk. But either way, just got some finishing touches to do up here. About maybe 5 or 6 more passes. Yeah, about 5 or 6 more. And we will be done. I think I got most of the stones pushed back into the soil. Might be a clump of stones here or there, but nothing that's going to damage our equipment too much. This little cedar that came up for sale definitely was well worth it. And we'll see. Probably forget by the time it comes to harvesting this field when it's full of grass. And when I do see stones, I do back up and get them back in. Try to remember that we got 23 bales off this field. It's going to be kind of rough in a couple months' time when we go to harvest the grass field as is. When it's planted grass, fertilized with no wild weeds growing into it. If I remember correctly, and I probably don't, but I think we're going to get like double the yield. So might get somewhere near 40 bales next time. But that Kubota baler, never been a big fan of round balers per se, but that one I don't mind at all because I don't have to stop. And the good thing about that is, with that baler, is I could use the mod Follow Me when I'm doing baling contracts. Or baling up straw behind me, I can put a worker on it because a worker on a round baler didn't know how to stop to unload the bales. So I'll be able to get Frank, Francine, Frank Jr., the whole Frank family to work behind me in that thing. We'll see how it goes. You know, in the distant future, I could trade it in and get ourselves a bigger baler if we need one, just to cut back on how many bales we produce. But right now, we're not producing that many. Just realized it's almost 5 o'clock in the evening here, so I think I'm going to be done for the month of April. I mean, I will check the contract page just to see what's out there. I did 2 of the grass fields already in April, so I think there's 3 or 4 grass fields on this map. So I might have 2 more contracts for grass fields. But as we know, there are not going to be any contracts for seeding because all the fields have a crop in them and they're all growing. So basically until harvest time, it's going to be some weeding contracts, I guess. And weeding contracts, as I can see, is not really worth doing. Not worth wasting my time to get paid on them. And might be some fertilizing contracts, and yeah, the grass fields will come up again like in June or July. We're not really doing any contracts until harvest season. So probably working in our own fields. The good thing about grass fields is you don't have to replant the grass in them. Once you plant it, you're done. And speaking of done, we are done with our new grass field. A lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. We own more property than I thought, so that's always good. I'm going to leave that tree in. I could have cut that tree down. I don't have a chainsaw. Yeah, but the telephone pole's going to have to stay there. That's all fine. It's all good. The one thing I might put down, because I probably could use a repair on this drill, because we bought this drill used, and our baler we bought used. So those are a little bit worn down, as is our baling trailer, but really wear and tear on the baling trailer doesn't matter too much. Turn that off. Let's come over here, and I'm actually going to put it on the side of the house. So I do believe I have the mod installed. First time I go into construction after loading the game takes a second. Let's go into tools and toolbox. $750 for a toolbox. The good thing about this toolbox is I do believe I can pick it up and move it around. I'm just trying to see which way the front is, and it's kind of hard to see. I think those latches are for the front. So I think I can pick it up from what the mod says and walk around with it. But every time I reload the game, it'll come back. So what you gotta do is, I think the orange latches are for the front. Let's see here. Let's go over to the drill, because that'll probably be the cheapest. So if I make sure the orange latches are facing the product we're going on. Yep, it picks it on up. So the condition of this, $88 to repair. Let's go ahead and repair that. And let's see, what else do I need to do? The baler. Alright. Looks like that's got a pretty big trigger. Is that gonna work when it's upside down? No, because it's facing upward. Rotate it like this. And let's see, the fast bale, $5.93 to repair that. Let's go ahead and do that. While we're here, the plow's not in bad condition, but we'll repair that. It's only 23 bucks. And then let's come over here to our baling trailer. Okay, why is that not... Trying to open up the workshop menu, and it's not opening up the workshop menu. Okay, it does there. Why won't you... Are you having an issue with the baling trailer? Well, that's interesting. Let's see, I bought this trailer used. Let's see if it works over here. Yeah, it works over here. Something to do with that modded trailer. I'm not too sure. $383 to repair the trailer. How about if I face it towards the front of the trailer? Nope, doesn't like that trailer. So it might be a conflict in the mods. Worst comes to worst, I can bring the trailer on down to the shop and maybe repair it that way. So I'm going to try this out. So next time I load into the game, I'm going to put the toolbox here. But I think next time I load into the game, it's going to respawn to wherever I placed it, which is here. That way it's always at the house. So, yeah, we're pretty much all set. So all of our equipment's pretty much repaired. 13,188. Just kind of checking on contracts here, and nothing's showing up. I'm not going to bother refreshing the contracts. Not that big of a deal right now, because I think I want to move on. I'm not sure what month we'll be in next episode. Maybe I will, at least see in the month of May, just to see how our grass field's coming along here. I'm pretty sure it will all germinate. Should be not a problem. Yep, we are looking all good here. pH value is actually okay-ish. And nitrogen, once the grass grows. Sandy loam is not that bad. But I'm looking for a different soil type. Might be easier if I just go into here. So we're going to go into loam here in just a second. Loam is the soil I'm looking for. So if you're asking why do I know it's loam, if you look at the bottom right hand corner, on loam soil, yield potential is up to 125%. If we go back up to sandy loam, the yield potential drops down to 100%. And that's the only two soil types we got? Yeah, that's the only two soil types we got right there. We do have loamy sand up here. Between loamy sand, sandy loam, those three, yeah, and then soil, and then silty clay is like the worst, I do believe. Loam, I don't know how. Yeah, loam's the best. So loamy sand. Let me go. Let's go see what that yield potential is. So I'm trying to figure out this color chart here. I never really paid that much attention to it before, because I always figured, you know what, it is what it is. Check for traffic so I don't get run over. Like I said, not much traffic on the map, but it seems like every time I go across the road, there's a car right there. So loamy sand. It's kind of weird. It's not giving me a yield potential there because the grass isn't quite growing yet. Yeah, so I got to wait on that because it's been harvested, so we don't know what the yield potential is. It's got to recycle back into growing after we're harvested, which will be next month. So can't really test that out. Or can I? Let's see. Our environmental score is up to 70. Oh, that's because we harvested our grass field, so that's going to register. This is up to 57 somehow. And this here... It's funny that I'm not getting an environmental score here. Maybe... Oh, so when I create a field, I think I got to log out, log back in, and then environmental score will pop up here. I think I remember doing that on No Man's Land. I got to save the game, exit, come back in, and we'll get some scores on this property. But now we are getting a 6% bonus, but that's probably going to drop. But I am pleasantly surprised the amount of silage bales we'll have here. Time has passed, so they're going to be like at 2%. Actually, they're at 6%, so that's not too bad. They're slowly fermenting. And let's see, like I said, it's going to be, might be June, July/August before we can sell them. Which is like the worst month to sell silage. 153 to 191, so it's like a $40 difference, which is quite a bit. I'll have to see how we're doing money-wise. I may hold on to the bales until at least like September. We'll have to see how bad I need the money, see what I can get for contracts being done. And I think that right here is where my little canola... Nope, that's showing me my bales. Never mind. There's a little canola field here I showed you last episode. But anyways, yeah, I'm rambling on once again. But that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in East Vineland. But until then, have a good one.